Let's talk about VAs. Do you even know what it stands for? And
strong am I with the Force.
now that I've got your attention, let's put Baby Yoda aside, even though he's pretty cute. Let's talk about VAs. So the word VAs is thrown out quite a bit, and I want you to understand what VA means. It means virtual assistant, but here's the thing. It really should translate to virtual staff. It should be VS, because this virtual assistant has a negative connotation. And I want to talk to you about what's a VA, right? What do they really stand for? Where to find them, how to train them, how to help you grow your business from it, and how to be able to overall grow your team, your businesses. So growth, right? So first, let's talk about VAs. Virtual staff. I would really rather change it to VS. Virtual staff, because now it encompasses so many different things, right? It's not just an assistant. It's a virtual staff member. I currently have 12 of them. So I'm coming from experience. I've had a virtual staff member for now just about 10 years. And over the last 3 years is when I've really started growing it. You can go to different sites like VirtuDesk, Virtual Assistant. Yeah, that's like a double there. Quick Monday, also virtual staff. And lastly, Priority VA. You can also go to Upwork. You can go to Fiverr. So I think the key is to be able to go to a place that actually trains them. That website is myvirtudesk.com, I think. But take a look. Now, the important thing when it comes to a virtual staff is really being able to outline what this like for the person you're hiring. And we don't even do that well enough. We hire a VA and then we hope that they know what they're doing. And I think that's where we need to take a step back and say, well, let's take the time to, number one, write out a job description. Who, in fact, are we looking for? Are we looking for staff to come in and help us on an executive level? Or are we looking for someone to come in and help us with social media, Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing? Or are we looking for somebody to edit video, right? I've got all of those so I can talk to that. Or are we looking for somebody to make calls, to nurture our database? The point is, you really need to take time to outline what those duties look like. Next is, we often forget, once we're writing those duties, to create a step-by-step, whether it's on a Google Doc or even audio, just to help guide who you're hiring. Just don't ever take it for granted that you're doing business like you do business. Everybody does different. And so you've got to train those people you hire, and you've got to communicate with them. So often we fail when we hire because we lack the communication. And so with my virtual staff, the number one way that I communicate with them is through iMessenger. Yeah, everybody's got an iPhone or an iPad. And if I need to call them, I can call them through iMessaging. Need to FaceTime, we can FaceTime through iMessaging. That's how we all communicate. And I make different groups between the 12 virtual staff members that we have. And they're all, some are in leadership positions, some are in marketing, some are editing, and some are entry, ISAs, and so forth. Now, let's say you've got the communication down. You say, okay, I'm going to use Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever. It's the training. How are you going to train them? Some people do it through video, some people do it through Google Docs, and some people do it through audio only. Whatever you decide to do, you've got to have a step-by-step, and you have to continually up that training, right? The cool thing is, when I first hired my virtual assistant, I did a terrible job. I assumed that they knew what they were doing, and I fired one, I fired the next one, and I'm like, okay, this isn't working, until I realized that maybe I should outline the duties and maybe I should outline what they need to do. And I'll take it a step further. Maybe I should create a Google Doc in what to do. So what I've done is for the positions that I hire for, I outline that step by step, and then I give it to them, and then we go through those steps together. And as they embrace them and grow into it, guess what happens? They start adding things to those steps, and they start individualizing it and making it better. You just can't always micromanage them. You've got to let them embrace that position. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is giving them something to shoot for. A lot of people don't even know when they start or when they end, or what their duties are for those days. So I suggest that anybody you hire as a virtual staff member, you let them know that at the very beginning of the day, they need to send you, hey, these are the things that I'm going to be working on, right? Start of day. And at the end of the day, whenever they wrap up, these are the things that I've worked on for the day, and these are the things that I accomplished. Keeping them accountable and allowing you to track what's happening. More importantly, you can communicate and say, great job on that. You've got to remember, the virtual staff, they're real people. And sometimes I find that is sometimes missed, that you don't often see in person. You kind of treat them differently, kind of like a tech piece or a tool or technology. And so you've got to start looking at it differently and add a little bit more empathy and realize that these are real people, regardless of what part of the world or what part of the country they're in. They're real people. Now, when it comes to growth, here's what you need to look for. As you grow with your VA team or your virtual assistant and they start gaining more responsibility, at some point when you're getting really good at this, you're going to say, whoa, maybe I should hire another one. That very first virtual assistant may become an executive admin that now is going to quarterback the things they need to do for those other people that are going to come in and help. So for instance, when I hired my first virtual assistant, they came in to help me specifically for calling our database. And then they grew into a position to be able to handle a lot more of the database nurturing. And then I hired more ISAs to call our bigger database. Now we have 100,000 in our database. We need quite a few VAs to continually nurture, but it all goes down up to that one person to be able to quarterback all of that. Now, as you grow, you can also grow completely different verticals and start a whole marketing team and say, well, geez, I want somebody to run all my marketing, whether it's my personal branding, or if you're in real estate, my real estate listings, everything we've sold, everything that's coming up on the market, or social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of that good stuff. And if you want to go even deeper, you can have somebody that's running your day-to-day, right? So there are so many things you can do. The key to this is making sure that you do those steps that I told you about. So itemize the things that they need to do, find those duties, hire well, make sure that you're communicating, right? Treat them like actual people, and know that you can grow with this if you've got the right plans. Hopefully that helped. And again, please hit subscribe as much as you can, and share my video. Have a good day.